Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Two Dudes Talking. Today we are going back in the past to talk about movies we should not have watched as kids. Stick around, subscribe, enjoy the episode.
What's up, Josh? How are you?
I'm doing very good. How are you?
Doing good. It's been a minute.
It has. Well, let's see. It is the 20th of August.
Yeah.
Theaters are back open across
Ooh.
the Carolinas.
Except for, you were telling me, like, it's all AMCs?
Yeah,
or is it all theaters?
All AMCs are back open,
Okay.
with the exception of a special theater in Rock Hill. It's called Cinema 7. It's pretty neat. We used to go to it a lot growing up. But, like, you used to go there for $10, and it was 2 tickets, 2 drinks, and 2 popcorns. I mean,
2 tickets to paradise.
yeah. So, like, that one, I think it has no plan to reopen. But aside from that,
Where was that at in Rock Hill?
right off of Mount Gallant in Cherry.
Ooh,
Yeah.
the dirty.
Yeah. But it was great. I mean, it was the stickiest floors ever. But I saw some solid movies there. Grandma's Boy for the first time.
The dirty.
The Dirty.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, I kind of don't know how I feel about going back to them right now.
I know. I mean, so I'm going to take the kids to one. We're going to get our own row, and
Yeah.
I'll beat the heck out of any other kids in the theater that come
Right.
up on our stuff. But
True that.
I'm excited that we can do that again.
Right. Yeah. No, that is exciting. I probably will go see Tenet.
Yeah.
You know,
There's several things we talked about before
Yeah.
that are going to be.
that's
I'm
one that I
very
want to go
excited
see.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to start off this episode again, just shouting out some cool people.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody in particular this time, but just everybody that's watched, listened,
Right.
just
Some of you guys.
cool folks. We love you. If you have been enjoying this content, and you don't think me and Josh are complete idiots yet,
Just wait.
Just wait. It's coming. But nah, for real, share this. Share this channel. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I don't know what you're doing if you haven't subscribed yet.
Not watching.
Not watching it. So, but yeah, or give us a couple shout outs of like stuff you want to see in the comments for sure.
Please do. That's where, I mean, we've seriously gotten some great references. And as we're in the studio today, some of these episodes are inspired by people that have given us these suggestions. So they're always welcome. And it doesn't have to be some mind-boggling thing. I mean, it doesn't have to be the next big crazy comparison.
Right.
But like, yo, the movie Beastmaster was crazy. I know they shot that dog with an arrow. 1, I know they did.
Yeah.
2, that was the first set of boobies I ever saw in a movie.
Boobies.
And it was the mom from that 70s show. And she's beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful lady.
That's hard to believe now.
Yeah. It was PG and they killed a dog. And
No, she's awesome for sure. Yeah. So,
but if you want us to talk about goofy stuff like that, we'd love to.
so speaking of boobies in a film when you were younger, we're talking today about some movies that you probably shouldn't have watched as a kid for more than one reason.
Right.
Not just nudity or sex or,
Right.
or whatever.
Like just the general content of the movie itself.
I think the first time I was probably aware or can remember, and I think we've talked about this in a previous episode, was like the first rated R movie I went to that I wasn't supposed to go to. And I don't even think but I went with my older sister and her friends, and we're watching.
How old were you at this time? You'll put us in the situation. I think that's kind of what we're trying to get at here. It's not even necessarily about the movies, but why this was bad for us at the time.
Yeah. So let me look at the release date of this movie. That'll tell me. This movie came out in 1999. It's Cruel Intentions. And if you're not familiar with the film, obviously it's got
Suggestive material.
yeah, that was a weird camera noise. Anyway, yeah, it's definitely got suggestive material. It's got, is it Sarah Michelle
Gellar, Reese Witherspoon, Ryan Felipe.
Ryan Felipe. Yeah, that's all you need to know.
Right.
Samuel Blair.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but yeah, we're walking in the movie theater. We're snuck in. I don't even think
So how old were you in 1999?
10.
10, yeah.
Yeah, like a jackass, you know.
Sneaking in movies.
But I'm going with my sister who's 15, who can't even be in this movie.
Right.
Now that I think about it, I'm like, wow. And then there's I'm not going to name these names because I don't need to, but there's a guy that went to school with you, who we've talked about, who was a friend of my, or who was brother to my sister's friend, her brother. I'm sorry. I just had a fucking stroke right
there. Yeah. Are you okay? Somebody get him some baby aspirin.
Gotta get a cup of water.
Anybody from Bear?
But we're walking up the side of the theater, you know, just getting to the seats. And I remember that guy going, like,
as you're getting settled.
Yeah, as we're getting settled. You
yeah.
know, these kids, 4 or 5 of us that aren't supposed to be in this movie. There's a line from the movie. It's like, I'm going to blank the blank out of you, you know. And I remember that guy that you went to school with who was just a little bit older than me. He turns around and he goes, damn.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and that's when I knew, like, yeah, I probably shouldn't be in this movie.
Right.
You know, but I love the movie Cruel Intentions. Like, I've watched it, you know, several times since. It's so messed up and so.
It is. What's neat to me about this whole episode is there was a time that I thought I could watch anything, that anything was for me, you know, and I see all my nephews and my daughter and they're like, oh, we could watch that one. My 6-7-year-old nephew wants to watch the new version of It. And I'm tempted to let him.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
But I had no idea of the stuff that was out there until that exposure sometimes.
Right.
And it was pretty jarring in a certain examples.
Yeah. So what was like, you know, in a previous episode, you said your first rated R movie was The Matrix, right?
That was the first rated R movie that I snuck into.
That you snuck into.
Yeah.
So like, what was some of the earlier films that you weren't supposed to watch as a kid?
There were 2 that I can think of, and they're very similar. My sister, we've mentioned, you got older siblings, they're going to do this. That's great. It's the best part about having an older sibling.
Thank you, Katie.
Yeah, thank you, Becca. And Tater and all of you other people that crafted us into these things.
Showed us the debauchery.
Yeah, you gave it to us as a big full show of things. My sister let us watch It. And I mean, that came out well before, I mean, not well before I was born, but not.
No, it came out in 90.
Okay, so I was 4 then.
Yeah.
And I probably saw it when I was 6 or 7.
Yeah.
It horrified me.
Bad mistake.
Absolutely. So like that one, I mean, it wasn't even a mistake. She said, "Here, watch this," and I'm like, "Okay." And you know, nightmares ensued. But my mom, a saint. This woman. If y'all know my mother, judge her on this because this is one of her funny slip ups. But she thought Child's Play was like a kid movie. She saw the doll on the front and just was like, "All right, yeah, we're gonna let them watch this tonight." And I mean,
oh, sweet Anne.
Yeah, sweet Anne. So I mean, you've got a serial killer that is shot by a police officer that uses black magic to possess a doll, which he then uses to try and murder a child to take that child's body.
Casual Tuesdays.
Yeah, sounds like a Tuesday. I mean, that's a Netflix night for me. I'm like, all right, 2 minutes in. But no, again, I think that one came out it was 91 or 92. So I mean, and I saw that as soon as it hit the movie stores. So I was like 5 or 6.
That's interesting that it came out in 88.
88. Okay, so I was 2.
Which is right around it. Yeah, but I mean, I do remember like because there's like 18 Child's Play movies. Probably.
Huge franchise. Yeah. There's a bunch.
But like I remember the Chucky dolls and the
good guy dolls.
But like the blow up, not the blow up posters, but the cardboard cutouts.
Right.
Life size cardboard cutouts. In the old VHS rental stores.
Yeah, for sure.
And just being like, you know, I'm just here to get a Sega Genesis game.
Yeah.
But there's like the clown over there just like.
And then this little doll with the knife. So one of the funniest pranks I've seen on YouTube or on the internet, on the interwebs, I think it was in Mexico City. And you know how they have the glass billboards? They have them in Charlotte. You can walk by on the street and it has like a little illuminated advertisement for something. It was one of these releases of these further down the line Child's Play movies. And
Child's
they
Play
had
9,000.
And they had a guy inside this booth dressed up like Chucky. So as these people were coming up on him,
like the real guy.
Yeah. Like this dude busts out of the glass and horrified people. But I would have like you just a few minutes, I would have stroked out on the street.
Yeah, it's probably amazing that guy didn't get his ass kicked.
He may have.
You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, he very, very well may have. So those two I kind of associate. It and Child's Play.
To keep it in that scary type genre, stuff I shouldn't have been watching, I would go to my cousin Travis's house, who is probably, I think he's 12 years older. 12 to 15 years older.
Right.
So
you idolized this dude.
Yeah, in some ways, yeah. He was cool. But like I'd go over there and he would have our other cousin Chris, who was a year older than me, and we'd be watching he's like 16, we're 4 or 5, and he's like making us watch Leprechaun,
oh yeah,
or Children of the Corn,
right,
or The Exorcist, and I'm just like
terrified.
Oh, I can't. So much to the point where I didn't want to go over there and watch those movies with him anymore. I'm just like, oh my God.
They're horrified.
Yeah, I couldn't deal with it. Yeah, I definitely, there's like tons of horror movies as a kid that I was just like, should never have been watching.
As a young adult, I would say this is kind of similar to the horror thing, but at the same time, it's a solid movie, love story, drama, romance. If you didn't know, Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yeah,
I think I was 9 when this one came out. I was looking at it before we came in here, and I mean, that movie is suggestive. And when I say I shouldn't have watched it at such a young age, I think it was okay. I mean, it was a little bit of blood. There was a little bit of body exposure and such, but I didn't fully grasp the depth of half of it.
Right.
So I kind of maybe jumped the gun on that one.
Sure.
I love going back and appreciating these things later. But man, as a kid, I know Wade showed you the scene with Lucy coming down into the crypt, and the effort that they went to scare adults using sound effects and altered audio in that movie. I mean, it's irksome as a grown up, but like as a kid, I didn't know why I was scared when I was watching that movie.
Right.
And that one kind of it unsettled me a little bit more than even the slasher films,
Right. Yeah, I've always been more worried about that type of stuff, like ghost, demons, even vampire stuff.
Paranormal.
Paranormal's the great word for it. More so than the Texas Chainsaw hacker / type movie. That's frightening, especially to little kids. But like that stuff was like, those movies are built on people making the dumbest decision possible.
Right.
Like, going down the dark alley.
Let's split up.
Let's split up. Yeah. So it's like,
and die.
Yeah. So they're, it's like, I guess I kind of always watch those movies like I would totally survive that because I wouldn't go down the dark alley.
Yeah.
Or split up. But yeah, that's funny.
So there are plenty of horrors. I'm gonna give one more honorable mention on this one. I was older when I saw this. I saw this one in theaters, but I was under the impression that Paranormal Activity was real when I saw that in theaters, and that movie scared me to death. I mean, I was mildly believing of this fact until the start of it. It came up on the screen. We'd like to thank the San Jose Police Department or wherever it's from for film used in this production. And I was like, oh God, this is real. And these people brought, and I mean, I was just geeking out at like the same as I was when I was a kid.
No way.
Just had that little kind of lens through it, and it scared me to death. But aside from horror stuff, there was still plenty of stuff I shouldn't have been watching.
Absolutely.
You shouldn't have been watching, like Cruel Intentions.
Yeah.
What are some other standouts that you have?
So, American Pie came out in 1999 as well. And it's like, God, if you're just not familiar with American Pie, then, whatever.
Yeah. Watch it. Let us know your thoughts in the comments if you're watching it for the first time.
It's like those type of movies have so much stuff that cannot fly today. Mm-hmm. That's just like, what? But that movie, I shouldn't have been watching it as a 10-year-old kid. And my parents didn't let me. And I probably didn't see it at 10. I probably saw it at 12.
Right.
Ooh, but it's all about sex and getting people drunk and
all about the wrong aspects of sex.
Yeah.
I mean,
just dumb stuff.
100%.
Yeah. Just I guess it is a part of it's a part of that college culture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That going away to school. Well, they're in high school in that movie, but yeah, just stupid. 4 dudes making a pact to lose their virginity before they graduate.
Right.
Just dumb shit.
Do you know how many people probably made that same pact the year that movie came out? Everybody in America. That's why we have the current generation.
Yeah.
Thanks, American Pie.
Yeah, I'm glad I wasn't a senior in 1999 just to have to deal with that dumb stuff. But yeah, I mean that movie for sure. There were tons of rated R movies, obviously. I would watch stuff with Dad, and Dad wasn't he was cautious about what to let me watch. I obviously like American Pie and movies like that. But he would I would go see some movies like Gladiator,
right,
which is rated R, and that's just rated R for violence, and stuff and
thematic content.
But I was 11, it's a year later, so. But there's a movie I was telling you about earlier, Basic Instinct, with Sharon Stone, Michael Douglas, Wayne Knight, Newman.
That is a wild movie.
So there's the famous scene of Sharon Stone opening her legs in the interrogation with the cops. And this movie's shot so dope, by the way. It's a 90s movie, but the cinematography's sick. There's these really long spotlights on all the characters in a lot of these scenes, just a real police drama type thing. But there is that famous shot of, Sharon Stone exposing. But the movie opens up with one of the craziest graphic sex scenes in what I'm going to say is a Hollywood movie.
Right. A big screen blockbuster.
Yeah, where movie. It's this is insane. And then there's there's full frontal dude nudity in this movie. There's
an episode of Sunny in Philadelphia where they really, really focus on that, and we got to go see it. In the new Thunder Gun, they swing full dong, and they
Thunder Gun.
I think Thunder Gun Express or something like that.
Funny.
It's silly.
But yeah, definitely remember watching that movie. It's and maybe I'm telling on myself, but it's there's those TV channels that are in the upper.
Yes.
That have stuff playing that, kids aren't supposed to watch and all that stuff. And, so you'd catch a movie on there like Basic Instinct or, something. But I don't remember what the movie was, but I remember there's a scene with a lot of cursing in it. And it was it's some action or drama. I really wish I could remember this. But I'm watching it with Dad in the living room. And I'm probably 7 or 8.
Right.
And I might have been playing with some toys or some Legos or something.
Right.
And he was watching it. But I just remember them cussing F's and GDs and just all kinds of stuff. And I was just
yeah.
I felt embarrassed watching it.
Right.
With him because I'm not supposed to do any of this,
Well, see, and that's kind of funny. Our parents coming up again. My dad was born in 1941 and my mom in 1950, and they weren't aware of a lot of this stuff. I mean, they weren't into movies really. They weren't into TV. We had a family farm, so Price is Right on lunch break was about all we got. You know, if we got lucky, we could sneak upstairs and watch Jerry Springer, you know.
Oh,
but,
wow. That's a great one. Yeah, that's great.
Should not have been watching it at
Should not
all.
have been watching Jerry Springer.
Some of the greatest one-liners I've ever heard come off of that show at the end. But, you know, my mom was totally innocent of what Child's Play was. And this is a big blockbuster, mega movie of the summer. And
just off her radar.
Completely off her radar. Yeah, we can rent this, boys. You guys enjoy it. Next thing you know, we're like screaming bloody murder and probably not. We probably ate it up. Like,
probably loved it.
Yeah, probably loved it. But man.
Do you think so movies like that, like whether they're scary, whether they're, you know, sex driven, whether they're profanity, violence, whatever, how much do you think they influenced you as a kid?
I know they had a huge impact on me as a kid.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think in more of a superficial way.
Yeah.
Like I know the common argument is always video games. Like violent video games is going to ruin America. Like, no, they're not. No, they're really not.
Yeah.
Same with movies. Like I learned a lot of my early "this is right, this is wrong" from seeing these adult situations that I hadn't been through.
Right.
And I mean, even though I didn't understand all the nitty gritty about that at the time, I know that gave me a lot of insight.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I feel like there were some things that I did or learned or tried that were influenced by these things, music or movies or whatever. That wasn't the right thing, you know?
Right.
Like, oh yeah, that was stupid, or that was whatever. Because, you know, like you're watching freaking Jackass and SLC Punk and listening to Blink-182 and watching American Pie. You're going to do some dumb stuff.
Yeah, it's part of the deal.
Yeah. So I was like, I definitely, but yeah, I do agree that like most of that stuff, it was eye opening, but it was like, yeah, you learn from it like right there. You're like, oh, probably shouldn't do that.
Right. So, and this is so to complement what you had asked about. I was like 6 or 7, and I remember being on the roof of my house, dipping sticks in tar, and throwing them at cars going down the road.
Real country shit.
Like, why hadn't I done this before? This is the greatest idea ever.
Yeah.
And then I get my tail whooped for it. Like, I didn't see that in a movie or anything. Like, I attribute a lot of the things that people say, oh, the video games and movies are going to rot your brain and they're going to make you do this. Like, no, kids are crazy. Like, they're wild. And like I remember when we didn't know the boundaries growing up, you know, and we had to learn them anyway. So I don't think that it was really they're very impacting. They can leave seeds in your mind that will grow into things that, you know, for sure. But
I definitely remember throwing rocks at cars, getting caught from my neighbor's mom, you know, having that whole ordeal.
That whole situation.
Just being like, it's like, oh, your gods are idiots. You know?
Yeah.
You know, just stuff like that. Real quick, because I do want to wrap this up. Just name a couple more that you probably shouldn't have been watching.
Half Baked. Absolutely. Yeah. I love that movie. And I loved it from the first time I saw it.
Yeah.
And I think it was like one of the unsung. No, it wasn't. That movie was great and it was big.
Oh, it was huge. Yeah.
So I guess it wasn't an unsung anything. That movie was dope.
Yeah.
And in the same, let me see, what are some other things? Total Recall with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
I saw that when I was like 5.
That's a good one.
I remember trying to watch like a kids movie at the fire department. They had some big thing, and the older kids were like, "No, we're watching Total Recall," and smoking their cigarettes. And I was like, "I'm gonna watch Total Recall."
I'm cool,
Mom.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's see, Friday.
Yeah, Friday was a good one.
It's great.
I feel like one that I watched that I probably shouldn't have watched, just because I was probably too young to comprehend it, was Terminator 2.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that guy was scary.
That dude still, the cop, is one of the best on screen villains. For me.
That was scary.
Yeah.
Very, very scary.
Very scary stuff.
Very scary.
But no, American Pie, I didn't mention that on mine, but like,
Yeah.
shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah,
you were even
a little older, yeah, but yeah, still like too young.
Oh yeah. But then that is what it is. I mean, and then you look at the differences now as opposed to then Todd Phillips, A Star Is Born, and The Joker, as opposed to Road Trip and Old School.
Right.
So a lot of these things, I'd say
right.
that I would have not wanted my kid watching are not. We don't do that anymore. It's kind of crazy. How our culture is getting away from a lot of it. But
yeah,
I'm glad I got it.
Yeah,
when I did.
For sure.
Got it honest coming up. It was wild.
Some debauchery for sure. So yeah, if you guys like this episode, definitely give us a like, share it, subscribe. Let us know in the comments what some of those movies you were exposed to, whether on your own or whether from a cousin or whatever, that you were not supposed to watch. And yeah,
I think the only other thing that I'll bring up is like I remember the next day after Mom had rented Child's Play, like that breakfast, I was just so traumatized. And she was like, "What's up, boys?" I was like, "This movie was so scary."
Anne's the sweetest lady.
She is, for real. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any little anecdotes, we'd love to hear about them. And we'll see you guys next time.
See you guys next time.